What's up, guys? I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we will be looking at exercise 50 of our Python exercise tutorial series. Without any further ado, let's get to it. So guys, one thing I should mention to you, right, is that this exercise 50, which we will be working with in a few minutes time. So this exercise is the last one that we'll look at that deals or revolves around the concept or topic of functions in Python. From exercise 51 until further notice, we will be looking at exercises in Python that deal with lists and arrays. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And without any further ado, let's get straight into exercise 50 now. And this is an interesting one. That's all I'll say for now. So, exercise 50. Write a function that generates a random password. The password should have a random length of between 7 and 10 characters. Each character should be randomly selected from positions 33 to 126 in the ASCII table. Your function will not take any parameters. It will return the randomly generated password as its only result. Display the randomly generated password in your file's main program. Hint: you will probably find the chr function helpful when completing this exercise. Detailed information about this function is available online. Okay guys, so we see, right, it is a super interesting program. And one thing I'd like to mention before we even start, talking about this program and the components and whatever, I would really appreciate it and recommend you that you attempt this program first. Just try doing something in your IDE and on your side before you actually proceed to look at the solution. Because this program, to be honest with you, it kind of has all those components that really aim to test, your skills and your thought processes and so on. It's an easy program. That's the best part about it. Very easy to understand and to trace, the logic and what's taking place. And, I mean, so to put it in perspective for you, right? This program requires that we randomly generate a password. And the thing is, in Python, number one, there's so many different ways you can actually go about attempting to, solve this program or come up with a solution, right? And I mean, you probably see, on YouTube shorts when you are scrolling at times, you'll come across these YouTube shorts that basically give you, a 1 minute or less video in which they teach you how to create some cool program. And most often, I know commonly I find myself scrolling along shorts where they teach us how to make a random generator, right? A randomized password generator. And the way in which they do it is different. The way in which I'm going to show you is different. Now, that's point number one. There's so many ways to go about solving this common program. Number two, you see, this program is all about strings, right? Text, characters. Now, the thing is, in Python, there's so many different things you can do with strings, right? And this specific program is going to basically require that we use one of Python's built-in functions that are very useful when we're dealing with strings, right? It's called the chr function. I'm not going to be talking a lot, for now. I'm just going to give you a slight overview because really, I can go on and on speaking, but that's not the point. The point is for you to understand the major components of the program. So just as a little insider, the chr function, you see every key on your keyboard, every character rather, that can be obtained from your keyboard. When you press the letter Q, it gives you a lowercase q. If you put caps lock on and press Q, it gives you an uppercase Q. Now the thing is, literally every character that can be extracted out of your keyboard, every character, A, B, C, D, capital, this, that, whatever, it's mapped to an integer as in whole number, right? It's mapped to a unique integer behind the scenes. So basically, when we press A, the CPU actually returns to the internal components, the unique integer for a, and then that's how a basically pops up on the screen. Now, the chr function is designed to take the number and translate it back into that unique character, right? So, I mean, as an example, let's just say on my keyboard, I'm not too sure if it's all the same, but you get the idea. The essential idea is that every key or character is mapped to a corresponding unique integer or whole number, and the chr function is designed to take that whole number and translate it into the character that it's supposed to be or represent. So that's good. Now, coming back to this situation of what we were talking about, you see, there's so many ways to do this program, and this program is all about strings. Now, strings are the backbone. Like, you may not recognize it or realize it when you are dealing with, I would say, simple in inverted commas programs like these, but strings, if you're taking it into consideration from the broad overview of Python, there's so much of stuff that can be done with strings, right? Strings form the basis of regular expressions. If you're talking about natural language processing and all these AI concepts, strings are what's totally involved. Strings, text, characters, right? Natural language processing. If you're talking about processing XML and HTML, those are all text. It's base text, and Python has ways for us to handle that text. And all this stems back to how we actually decide to process strings and our understanding of that topic. Okay, so that was a good session of talk. So for now, let's get cracking with the coding for this program. So first things first, right? We need to randomly generate a password. So from random import randint. Now this line basically, randint is a function that's stored in the file called random. Random is the name of the file. If we import random, we'll be importing everything from random, which we don't need. We specifically just need the function inside that file that's going to randomly generate an integer or a number for us. So that's why we just call that function. So as you see, being a simple program that this one is, as we'll see, it also tests our usage and skills of importations, dependencies. So that's good. Now, a password has a length in characters, right? And they even told us here the password should have a random length between 7 and 10 characters. So I'm going to create some constants. These constants will be used by us at a later stage. Instead of having to place standalone values within our parameters to the functions, we can just pass these constants because we will be using them within the program. So shortest is 7, longest is 10, and then we can also set some constants for the min ASCII, ASCII. The minimum one they wanted was 33. So let's set the min ASCII to 33, the max ASCII to 126. That's good. Now we proceed to define our main function. The main function is not doing anything extravagant in this specific situation or this particular program. All it's doing really is just giving a message: your randomized password is, and from this we can just call the function. So in this case, let's just say we'll have a function called random password, right? And they said there's no parameters that's going to be passed to this function. Your function is just going to get called from the main function, and it's going to return a value to the main function, and the main function will output that value to the user. So now we are in good shape for now. So let's define random password parenthesis. It's not taking any parameters. Random length length is equals to randint. So this is self-explanatory, right? We create a variable or an identifier called random length. It will store the value, basically the length of the password that's to be generated. And how are we getting the length? Well, we are randomly generating a password using the randint function from the random package. We are passing in the shortest for the minimum length and longest for the maximum. So that's good. Moving on, let's create a variable called result. We'll initialize that to be an empty string using a for loop for I in range random length. For I in range random length, all we're doing here is random character is equals to character. So chr, see, if we come to the interactive Python console and if we type chr question mark, you'll get a little idea. Well, it is the documentation for the chr function or method, and it tells us return a Unicode character with return a Unicode string of one character with the ordinal. So ordinal is basically the integer, right? In Python, there's a function called ord, which is basically ordinal. It will take a string or a character rather, and it will map it to the unique number or integer that it is. So since they told us, we are deviating a bit here, but it's fine. Since they told us 33 is going to be our minimum, let's actually pass 33 into the chr function to see what character that is. Okay, so it's the exclamation, and if we pass 126, it's the, well, I don't know what you call this thing, but I actually forgot. But yeah, it's, that character there. So that's good. Random, coming back to the scenario now, random character is equals to character parenthesis. Okay, yeah, we pass in rand int. Within the rand int, we can pass in ASCII, yes, min ASCII and max ASCII. So that's good. And then we are doing a simple, append. So result is equals to result plus random character. That's good. Moving on, we are returning result right. So you'll notice, guys, result will get returned to the main function, or from wherever it is called, it will return a value which is result. And as you know, result is that randomized string or password in this case that we are attempting to kind of build and then send to the main function. So that's good. Now all we need to do is call the main function, and this program is done. Right, it's done. From one perspective, we still have to make sure it's finished in terms of the testing perspective. So let's proceed to run this program. And there we have it. There is nothing for us to do, no input, nothing. This program is just like doing and executing all the necessary logic behind the scenes, and it's doing exactly what was required. No parameters are passed, no input is taken in. We are using the chr function to help us. We are using the random module and the chr function to randomly generate, a password for us. So let's go ahead and run this again. Yeah, and we do see every time you run the program, you are going to get a different length of a password, and a password that's consisting of different characters. So yeah, this is super interesting. And with that, guys, we've successfully and efficiently and effectively completed exercise 50 of our Python exercise tutorial series. I do hope that you found this exercise useful and you have more experience and insight into Python programming language. And with that, thank you for your time. Thanks for staying till the end. Good luck with your work. and I'll see you in the next YouTube video.